Hello, everyone, and you are listening to Ticket to Life, and this is Henry. And I hope so far 2025 has been going well for you. I am giving all you lovers, all of you who are in some sort of relationship, a heads up now. It's February, and you know what that means. Valentine's Day. But here's my disclaimer before I even start off on Relationships 101. I am not a therapist, a doctor, a life coach, a love guru. These are only my opinions. And that's where we're going with today. So I love, love, love. Who does not love to be in a relationship? But again, very important that Valentine's Day is February 14th. And it's a very important date for some, and for some it's just another day. It's just another day. But Valentine's Day never changes dates, and if you want to keep your lover happy, just remember their birthday, anniversary, Valentine's Day, Christmas, because they are all on the same date. Now, if you can remember uh, ever playing football and you remembered all those crazy plays, or you were on drill team and you remembered every single way to kick up and turn left, turn right, then you should be able to remember for February 14th. It's just an important date to a lot of people. For me, Valentine's Day is every day here at my home. Just kidding. It again, it never changes. So just remember, those are important dates. You should always try to remember. I mean, some people remember celebrity sun sign, but they can't remember their beloved's birthday or Valentine's Day. I don't know why. They just can't. Um, but if you are what a type of person that just feels like in your life you are devoted and you're in dying love to a person who completes you and cherishes you and celebrates your love daily, please contact me because we will put you on Ticket to Life and you may be an influencer. But anyway, you never know. Believe it or not, I believe that there could be some people like that, but unfortunately, you and I know that they might eventually drive that special someone away. Can you be loved too much? It just dawned on me. I said this was relationships 101. No, this is I love you too much. Relationships 101 was another podcast I did a few weeks ago. Okay. I'm drinking coffee, and apparently I have not had enough coffee this morning. So I could rewind and edit that, but you know what? We all make mistakes. No podcast is perfect. But anyway, can you be loved too much? Yes, most definitely you can. Now, I don't mean the doting parent because you can never love a child too much. Or can you? Well, yes, you can probably to a certain degree, but some feel as though they need to be with their certain someone all the time, 24/7. And we will get to the helicopter and hummingbird parent in a bit. So I don't want to leave anyone left out in this. Now, how can we actually love too much? And how is that harmful? We are told to love and cherish in a relationship, not to hover and shadow every move and know what they are thinking, what they are wearing, what they are eating, where their whereabouts 24/7. Well, with all we have nowadays with Life 360, Find My Phone, all those apps, that makes it possible to know where someone is 24/7. No privacy. And if you turn the apps off because you don't want your significant other, your lover, whatever, it may trigger them into a panic and start wondering, who are you? Why did you turn it off? What are you doing? And oh, this is a thing. Trackers on cars are no longer just for law enforcement to use trying to follow a suspect. Did you know you can buy trackers on Amazon? I did not know that. I had to look that up. I'm like, you can buy them on Amazon. I had no idea. Literally sounds like George Orwell's book, 1984. Have you ever read this book? Whoa. I read it years and years ago, but some of that stuff just stayed in my brain's database. And some of what was written is so true and happening. Big Brother is watching, telescreens everywhere. Well, look around. Somebody's always watching. And this book was written in 1849. Crazy how some minds work, right? Oops. Here's my mind going off on something else, a book. Um, but it's kind of relating about the 24/7 watching. Have you ever gotten to where you feel you can't breathe due to the fact that your beloved is smothering you? I have. Now, not now, but my husband, and he will tell you this. Well, he used to. He would follow me. I would get up and go to another room, and he would follow me. I would go do laundry, and he'd go in there and chat with me. Now, this was before cell phones. This was when we first got married. So, um, and he would just want to be with me, which is great because I love him so much. 41 years. Um, Luckily, he wasn't waiting outside the bathroom waiting for me, at least not that I know of. But I finally had to mention it to him and told him he was driving me cuckoo and he could stop following me. Yes, that's our communication. And honestly, it's just being honest and upfront. My poor husband said he didn't even realize that he was doing this. And yes, I believe him. You're like, well, how did he not know this? Because when I mentioned it to some of my friends and family, they said their spouses did the same thing. Now, FYI, I did some research on this, and what I found out was that some men and women do this to be close and involved and the desire to connect. Well, I can believe that. Um, he knows that I love him and he needed to back off. I know that sounds harsh, but he got it. He didn't realize it. And knowing that I was not the only one that this was happening to, that made me feel like, okay, he's not stalking me in my own house. But actually, when your partner is by your side more than you would like, almost making you feel a little cuckoo, it could be because they, meaning men and women, have some issues with insecurities and codependency on their self worth. And it could be due to how their home life was growing up in an abusive or non loving environment at home. And that's why it's really good to know who you're with and get to know what their life was like before you got together. And if that is it, honestly, seek some counseling for them and help them through this process because it could save your relationship. And I know a lot of people don't want to go through counseling, but it can be helpful. I don't like anyone for me watching me do things like cook or typing it makes me a bit anxious. I'm like, why? And believe it or not, it makes me mess up whatever I'm doing. So people stop hovering. Stop hovering over me when I'm doing something. Hint, hint. Um, and watching them just seeing. I feel like sometimes my husband, he's so sweet, but if I'm cooking, which is rare because he does most of the cooking, he watches me while I'm doing something, and I feel like he's critiquing, even though he's not. He's just sitting there watching and talking to me. But I know maybe I should go to therapy. But so anyway, I don't like to be hovered. Also, when when loving someone too much, it is unhealthy for the two of you. And I mean, that's common sense, and we all have that. Well, most people have that. Why? Because we all need boundaries. and we love excessively and not give a person space, that's just not good. Um, it's not. It may, and of course, a lot of people do that in public. And I'm sure once they're home, they don't even speak. I don't know because, they want everyone to think that they live in Neverland. But because of this, it can be excessive and it can make a person feel as though they're being suffocated by their partner and start thinking. And you don't want that to happen because when that happens, sometimes the person feeling suffocated may seek someone else just to talk to. That is no bueno. No, not good. So, again, back up a bit. Look at your space between you and your loved ones because it really is important that you talk. You know me, I'm always telling you, if you've listened to Ticket to Life before, communication and relationship is so stinking important. And I know if you didn't talk or your parents didn't talk, well, break the chain. Do it. Talk to your beloved, to the person you want to be with for the rest of your life. Now, I do have a story. I haven't shared a story in a bit, but um, I have a friend of a friend whose aunt's granddaughter is the problem. Because most people think it's men that do this. No, this is a woman. Now we're going to call her Natalie, but that is not her real name because the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Now Natalie is married to a great guy, and they've been married for about 12 years, I think. Um, well, Natalie's husband, and we will call him Douglas. Douglas adores Natalie, but he isn't the problem. It is Natalie. Seen it. Natalie tells Douglas what to wear when they are going out somewhere and who they're going to hang out with, and always making sure she knows where he is and who he's with. Now, I was told the last part about I was told the last part about knowing where he is because, people talk. And I am pretty sure she has a tracker on his car because if he turns his phone off, I'm sure she's going to panic. So just kidding. I don't know that for sure. So, Doug, if you're listening, not sure about the tracker. I may have made that up, but you might want to check your car just in case. But anyway, now for some, they may say that Douglas is whipped. And I'm sure we all know what I mean by that. If not, look it up. I myself think that Douglas picks his battles and just doesn't want to argue. It's like, oh, this is fine. I love her. She loves me. But sometimes you can see that Natalie is causing an emotional distress on this poor guy. Where they're taking a deep sigh, look around. You can see this anxiety, and Natalie is a control freak in this relationship and hopefully listens to Ticket to Life and it rings a bell and wakes her up. Like, wake up call. But fortunately and unfortunately, Douglas is very attractive and women are drawn to him. Sorry, I'm drooling thinking of how handsome Douglas is. Just kidding. If Natalie sees a woman talking to him, she scurries up as fast as she can and chimes up, "Hi, I'm Natalie, his wife, and who are you?" I've seen this happen. Do you know anyone like this, or are you like this? I really believe that a reminder, and now remember, these are all my opinions, people. At this point in the podcast, I am pretty sure Natalie has some insecurities. Listening to myself tell you this story, does she love him? Yes. Does she love him too much? Yes. And here are the red flags. She causes emotional distress. Check. Obsessive behavior. Check. Unhealthy boundaries. Check. Feeling possessive or jealousy about her property. Oh, wait, he's a human and not property. Wait, check. Save your relationship if you have any of these red flags and talk to your partner. communication can save most relationships when it isn't one sided. Try to accept the needs of the one you love and not take over the relationship. Remember, it's a joint thing when you say I do or let's start dating. It is a joint thing. It's a partnership. Be honest what you're expecting or want, not expecting, what you're wanting in a relationship. Don't be shy. Don't worry about scaring that person off because if you scare them off, then you know what? Maybe they're not worth being in that relationship with. Try and accept their needs of the one you love. And again, do not take over the relationship. It will crash and burn, and you won't even know what happened because you might say in the end, I love him so much, and I just don't understand what happened. Love too much is a thing. And yes, you can love someone too much. You can love someone too much. Have you ever seen this with people? I mean, I've seen it obviously. And it's a sad thing because they have a good thing and they just don't know how to handle it. Of course, my answer to that is pray about it, but sometimes people need more of a slap in the face to open up and say, "Oh, wait, look what I'm doing." And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you can love someone, I guess, too much, but don't smother them. Just, I can't even imagine. I don't, I like my alone time. So I'm always saying that my husband's going to leave me for a Vegas showgirl. And then if he does, I'm in trouble because I don't know what I'd do without him. I know I'd survive, but still wouldn't be the same. Well, that's my take on loving someone too much. Now, let's move on to the list. And many parents will agree, and many parents will just say, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And they will disagree and won't want to hear this. But I call them like I see them. And yes, I am guilty of some of this as far as being one of those parents. I'm not going to lie, when my kids were young. Um, can a parent love too much? Well, maybe. Not too much. Not like I would hope that you do. Don't put trackers on your kids' cars when they're old enough, but maybe not too much. But they shall, or shall. Well, no. Let me backtrack on that. Can a parent love a child too much? Maybe not too much, but they, or shall I say, become obsessed with our kids and feel they need to be there 24/7. Now, when a child starts school and parents start to volunteer, and they volunteer for the wrong reasons at the school, not to help out, but to keep an eye on the child, not a good thing. We want our kids to become not reliant on us all the time, but to rely on others and rely on themselves. It is sometimes hard to cut the cord, I'm not going to lie, but we all must do it if we want our kids to excel in life. Now, they need us to reassure them that we are there for them in all ways for their well-being and guidance. But unfortunately, they will have to learn that life can sometimes be cruel and we can't hover over and protect them. And some kids are just nasty nowadays. They're just nasty. They're mean to others. And I always say it starts in the home. Teaching our kids to be kind is one thing that is so important. Yet we want our kids to be able to stand up for themselves. And unfortunately, our kids need to learn to pick their battles. I know. Now, when I say this, I'm not talking about 3-year-olds or preschoolers. Well, the be kind, yes, that is very important to show children this. This is something that they will learn from home. And it is important. They need to know. So, how many of you could or would you consider are a helicopter parent? Or if you don't know what that is, or are you in denial that you fit the profile, I will tell you the meaning behind this title. And it is a parent or parents or guardians that are literally controllers of their children's lives. Excessive levels of involvement, and a child depends on mom and dad for more than basic needs. It is harmful, well, maybe a little, unless you are planning to enroll and going to college with them and living in an apartment with them. But definitely that is not good either. I wonder if people have done that. I don't know. I hope not. But yeah, you need to prep your kids to let them go. Um, and now don't get any ideas. Please don't get any ideas about going to college with your kids. I do remember my daughter telling me that she was, once she was in college, she said, she calls me, she goes, Mom, we were so sheltered at home. I'm like, wait, what? Because my husband and I, we were pretty much let our kids make decisions in high school once they're driving and, doing their own thing in school. They were very respectful and they would let us know or ask certain things were okay to go, such as the movies with their friends and parties. And by the grace of God, they did make some good choices. We were just so thankful that we could visit them in college and visit and not have to go visit in prison. But anyway, I mean, there's kids doing some really horrible things right now, and they're in prison. So talk to your kids, teach them to be kind and not want. Things are not what kids need. They don't need mom and dad to be friends. They need them to be parents and they need them to be able to talk to them. I mean, it's good to, when kids get older, my kids are adults, they're in their 30s, um, you do be kind, you do become like a friend, but they're on their own. And now the hard thing for me is to bite my tongue and not tell them what I'm thinking, because sometimes I need to mind my own business to a certain degree, I think. Now, if it involves my grandchildren, I will speak up, but not all the time because they are parents now and they're both doing a great job. Um, I did find some other names for parents who hover, and they are lawnmower parenting, snowplow parenting, satellite parenting, stealth bomber parenting, jet fighter parenting. Oh, yes, and the hummingbird parent, observing from a distance. I think I probably was more of a hummingbird parent. I used to observe from a distance because you want to, doing that was kind of weird, I guess, now that I think about it. But I would go and I'd, excuse me, and meet them for lunch. They used to love when we went to lunch because we'd pick them up some good old McDonald's. It was great. But anyway, I don't know. You get to meet their friends. Always, that's an important thing, parents. Make sure you do meet your kids' friends. You need to know who they're hanging out with and meet their parents. It's just so important to know what your kids are doing. So, can you love your child too much? Nah, I don't think so. Just know that when it's time to let them go, you will be crying because it is hard. It's hard to let kids go, especially when they're good kids, and raising children is such a hard thing. But if you raise your child at the best of your ability to be kind, to be good, to treat others the way that you want them to be treated, that will help in their relationships so that they don't love too much when they get older and hover. Hovering is no bueno, like I said, not a good thing. So I just wanted to let you know that I did just get back from a cruise, and I'll be talking about that cruise in a couple of weeks. And it was Mariner of the Sea from Galveston. It was a wonderful. We had a great time. But I want to do a podcast on cruising. It was a lot of fun if you've never been on a cruise, and it's a good experience. Will I do it again? Yes. We're already talking about going on another one. We just had a good time. It's like being at an all-inclusive resort but on the water. So anyway, I hope that everyone is doing well. Oh, at the very beginning of the year, I mentioned that you should learn a new skill, learn something new each month, because it's good for you. And plus, not just that, and it's good for the young uns, like your 20s, 30s. It's just good for you to learn something new each month and try to stay off of your cell phone. That is one thing I did notice. A lot of kids on cell phones on the ship, and there was some that were not. And I did speak with a mom, and she said, no, we did not buy the internet package. She said, we did not want him on the internet while we were on the ship for 5 days. So that was smart. Good parenting. To me, that was because they got to spend some good quality time with their son, and he seemed to be enjoying himself. But anyway, I hope that this will help some of you who are probably feeling a little suffocated, or hopefully you're not. But if you are, talk to your significant other. And a very important thing, like I told you earlier, do not forget February 14th. It really isn't. I do. When you're younger, I guess it's so important. But, as you get older, it's like I sleep with the same guy every night. So I don't think he's going anywhere. But you never know, right? He's going to hear this podcast and go, why do you keep saying that? No, but just love the person you are with. Be kind and don't hover, and talk to them. If there's a problem and you see that problem, excuse me, if you see a problem or you feel like, I need some space, open up to them. But again, this is why it's so important to speak your mind when going into a new relationship. You never, never want to be loved too much. Although God can love me as much as he wants, I will open arms for all the love in the world that he plans to give me. Well, anyway, enough of that. I love all of you, but not too much. So until next week, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and please go find your blessings. This is Henry.